Good morning. As you can see, we are in the car and I'm actually on my way to the W2. Traffic's a little bit slow right now, so I thought this is as good a time as any to start talking with you all. I am not going to pretend that I haven't not been producing videos for a little while. It's been about 3 weeks, so I mean that's pretty close to a month to me. And the reality is I haven't been uploading them, but I have been filming them. I filmed a few weeks ago when I accidentally stole a car for the weekend. As you can see, I'm in a different car. My car ended up needing, you know how they get you. It started off with an oil change. Before long, I knew I needed a rotation, an alignment, sparks, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, by the time they got through with me, they about to put a knot on my head for about $1,000. But it's the stuff you do. You take it to the dealership, you got to keep it under warranty and all that jazz. I have a decent waiting room and snacks. Let me see these $900 snacks. Yeah, I don't see $900 yet. Let me see this $900 coffee. Maybe it's the coffee. Oh yeah, dang, I don't even drink coffee. I'm going to take a bottle of water then. A $900 bottle of water, let's be clear. And let's see, I filmed other, little drives on my way to work, but honestly, my energy was off, and I feel like you guys deserve better than that. I can share a little bit now with regard to what's been going on at work with me, is that I recently was provided some information that pretty much let me know, hey, your workload has been increased. You've kind of been used to make sure that someone else's workload stays pretty even keeled. And of course, no one likes to be used. So that has kind of changed a lot of what I feel about showing up to this. And I mean, you guys have heard me before say there's no such thing as a teacher shortage. They're just teachers, many qualified teachers who are sick of putting up with some stuff. And for me, that's some stuff that I have no business putting up with. But yeah, that has affected my whole outlook on some things, in addition to the things that are already hard and rigorous about teaching. I certainly don't need that. But anyway, that's been going on. Other things that I tried, as I mentioned, I tried filming, I don't know if I said this, but I tried doing a little sit down to answer, because even though I wasn't really filming about myself, vlog style, I thought I can at least get in the zone and I can answer some emails and things. So I sat down, tried to do that. I have been receiving emails and things like that. And one person told me, the reason we email you is because a lot of times people get questions on their Instagram and you haven't given us an Instagram. And the reality is I do have an Instagram account, but I've never uploaded anything, created on it. I don't even know how, to be really honest. I just have an account, but I don't mind the emails so much. I know before I said, I wish you wouldn't email me. I'm fine. But anyway, all that to say, I was here now. I'm here. And it's good to be back. I always enjoy filming. I say that now. Hopefully this will be something I can go ahead and upload and feel good about. But I always enjoy filming and connecting and getting responses and comments and all of that back and forth. Love that. But let me go back to the sit down that I was talking about filming. It was more so, I have gotten several emails about loneliness, and it keeps striking me as odd that the thing I think I'm saying isn't always the thing that's being heard. In this case, they kind of heard it, but don't really get it. And so I've gotten different alliterations of how do you combat loneliness? How do you get over the fear of loneliness? One young lady wrote that she is currently remaining in a relationship as a live-in situation. She didn't specify whether it was her husband, boyfriend, if they have a child together, because honestly, my opinion, and I got a million of those, but to some degree, my opinion changes whether you're married, whether you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, or even if you have a child together. Those all vary for me. But she knows that this person is not her person, yet she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't think there's anything else out there, so to speak. And that's kind of strange, because to me that sounds more like she's depending on the world to supply her what she needs. And I'm one of those people. I think if what you seek is a relationship, then that's something you need to outline the specifics of what you want, pray on that, and then do the work for yourself so that you're ready for that. But I can tell you, if your fear of being alone or something like that is keeping you from getting out there or being out there to avail yourself to the person you outlined and want, if your fear is holding you back, then I'll just say the way I was raised and do believe is that God hasn't given us a spirit of fear. So if you're sitting in a spirit of fear, it tells you right there you got a little bit of work to do. Something's amiss. But anywho, all of that said, let me get to what I was saying about being alone in my sit down before it overheated. I feel like people who are afraid of being alone, well, first, I feel like you're afraid for one of two reasons. It's either external or internal. And by external, I just mean you're worried about what people will say or think or feel or whatever. People you don't even know, which is strange because, okay, let me just say, this is funny. I didn't even say this during the sit down, but I feel like when COVID hit, a lot of people had to, or the shutdowns, I should say, of COVID, a lot of people had to be alone and they had trouble with that or struggle with that. And I was never that person. It did not bother me in the least to be alone. I enjoy my alone time. And after, or actually no, during that time, people were saying, oh, get into car picnics. I was like, car picnics, what is that? For me, that had always been a thing. Like, I'm that person. Oh, my camera is shaking like crazy. But anyway, if you know of a good mount, please help me. But anywho, they were talking about car picnics, and I was like, that's a new thing. I've always done car picnics. And a lot of times I would just go out and I would put on a top, but still have my pajama bottoms if I was lounging around the house because I like hot fries. So I'm like, oh, I got a craving for hot fries from McDonald's. Hop in the car, press my button. No one really saw me. It's not like I walk back and forth from the car and all that. I just press the garage button, back out, go get my fries. And again, I like them hot. So I might sit in the parking lot and eat them there. But while I'm doing that, I would see families and people walking in and out of McDonald's. And purely for my own entertainment, I would come up with a life story for them or things that I thought were their life stories. I'd see an older couple and be like, man, they've been through some stuff. They look like they were probably born in the 40s, so they've probably seen this era and that era, and I'd imagine what that might have looked like for them. Or I'd see a family and be like, oh, they look like they might be a blended family. The daughter looks like him, but the son looks like her. Wait a minute. Now that kid right there, that looks like a combination of both of them. So that's the one they had together. Blah, blah, blah. And so why was I doing this again? Purely for, well, I'm a little bit nosy, so yeah, I enjoy people watching, but purely for my entertainment as I was sitting there eating hot fries. By the time I wadded up my trash, put it in the trash can, I did not think of those people anymore. They were completely forgotten. Could not tell you one of those people if they walked up and slapped me. I'd slap them the heck back. Don't get that twisted. But I don't know those people. That's the point of it all. And I'm just coming up with stories and scenarios about them for the entertainment of me. So if your fear of going out and eating alone or dating yourself is born out of what people might think of you, trust me, girl, they are not thinking about you like that at all. Like at all. But to ease you into it, if it helps, I would say if there's a place that you and some of your friends have gone, for example, for brunch or appetizers, happy hour, whatever, then I would start by revisiting a place like that. Because you're already familiar with the layout, you know the menu, you know what I mean? And it just kind of fosters that extra bit of confidence. If this is your first time, you're going to know what you already like. You can order a appetizer, have a little drink, do whatever. And not feel a way about it, or at least feel a little more comfortable. Chances are you might know one of the waitresses or the bartender, and that makes it easier to strike up a conversation. They might ask you, hey, where are your friends? Be ready for that question and just be like, you know what, I felt like striking out on my own. I'm feeling my grown girl era or something like that. Just just be willing to be open to that. But anyway, I definitely talked about the external part of a fear of being alone, I would say. But then there's the internal. And to me, I think when people, I still sound a little bit hoarse, but excuse me. I think when people have a fear of being alone because of an internal reason or because of their internal voices that they think they're going to hear, I think there's something that they have to work on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there could be something that they don't like about themselves, something they haven't forgiven about themselves. It could be any variation of reasons, but there just has to be this internal work. And if, for example, it's something you haven't forgiven yourself with, I'll go with that one. I can tell you what I used to do actually in my 20s. I would sometimes get a piece of paper and divide it halfway across, left to right, and then that top portion I would divide in half again, and I would write down the one thing that was really bothering me. And it has to only be one thing. Like, you can't write 11 things, because that allows you the permission to beat up on yourself, and that's not what this is about. You're writing the one thing that is very difficult for you to get beyond or past. So on the left side, write about that thing that really bothered you. On the right side, write about what it is you did about that, and chances are that's what you're really upset. Like, I haven't so much been upset with myself in life with what I've done as I've been about things I haven't done, things I haven't said, or whatever. So that's what you're going to write over there. What is it that you did or didn't do? And then on that bottom half, this is where your creativity comes in. Write about what you wish you had said, what you wish you had done, or what you might do moving forward. Those are the things that are going to usher you into forgiving yourself and giving yourself a little leniency with whatever actions you took or didn't take. You know what I mean? Write that down. And I mean, write, if you got to, turn it over and write some more on the back side. And write that clearly and well. And then, here's the hard part. You gotta let that go. Don't keep harping on it, thinking about it. If it pops up again, did you cover it already? Did you already write that down? Okay, well, you thought of something new. Go ahead and write that down then. And then do that until you have run out of stuff to say. And then you've got to move on. You just do. Move on. Celebrate your moving on by doing what? Taking yourself out on that solo date. Go out. And I'm encouraging you, what is this, October? So you got October, November, and December. Try at least to take yourself out at least 3 times before the new year. And by the way, I know a lot of people are into New Year resolutions and all of that. Let that be part of your new thing for yourself, that part of your self-care. A lot of times we think about self-care as being laundry and cleaning and all of that, but let self-care really be something about what you're doing for yourself. And I encourage solo dating. It really does get you in touch with who you are, and it makes you hear yourself. And then as it pertains to a new resolution or something, I would start writing down more things that you want for yourself, you know, and be specific. How do you want to see yourself dressing? How do you want to carry yourself? How do you want to speak? You know, are you interested in picking up more vocabulary words and things? Are you interested in being a person who reads? Now, I personally have trouble sitting down, opening and reading books anymore. I used to love it all the time, but for some reason now when I start reading a book, I start getting sleepy. But what do I do now? I do audiobooks, and those carry me through. Sometimes I'll listen to it in the shower. I'll listen to it as I'm getting ready to go places and things like that. So that's very helpful for me. But as you're thinking of this reinvention of yourself, since that seems to be the term that people are using now, think very specifically. As I said, what do you look like as your new you? How do you dress? How do you sound? Are you picking up new vocabulary words? What does your surrounding look like? Your environment, is it clean? Is it whatever? All of those are things that you really need to consider and map out. Why? Because next you're going to figure out how you can start getting into that, how you can start becoming that person. I feel like so many times people start in December about my New Year's resolution, I'm going to do this and that and those, and they haven't done any of the prep work. And then that year goes and they haven't done what they resolved that they would do. And they feel disappointed. to me, when you're making those goals of who you're going to be, start with a little bit now. And it could be something as small as, I'm going to start making my bed up every day. And why do I encourage you to do something small and whatever as making your bed? Because small successes lead into larger successes. And they also allow you to celebrate something about yourself. You know, like, wow, I really did that. I made my bed up. Or I woke up 10 minutes earlier and I unloaded the dishwasher every single morning. You know, just little things like that, I promise you, give you something to celebrate yourself about and feel good about and reward yourself about later. A lot of people are big on rewarding themselves. You know, I deserve this. I deserve for what exactly? I don't really know, because they haven't accomplished a lot of this stuff and they end up feeling empty afterwards. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid that empty feeling. But anyway, I'm getting closer to work, so I'm going to pull down my camera and get going. I will talk to you guys later. I'm making a promise to myself. I promise to pick this camera up after work and keep going. So I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far away I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself.
So I got that little bit done, and now I just wanted to turn the camera and chat for a few. My kids are in their elective right now, and so I've got a few more minutes. But anyway, I don't know what it is about whatever is going on now, but there is so much going on all around me that it's crazy. Not much else has been going on with me. Like I said before, I did some recording that I didn't upload. I was in the process of editing it and my mood wasn't right. My mood is a whole lot better now. I feel a lot lighter about things. So I feel like I'm able to record. And it's just one of those things where just because I'm in a funk, you know how they say misery loves company? I'm not that girl. Just when I'm in a funk, I kind of like to isolate myself and get myself out of it or whatever. But also, it wasn't even just me being in the funk. I haven't worked out. That's one thing that I really need to get into. And excuse that noise if you hear it. That's a child who's not quite getting their way. If you don't hear it, we'll just keep right on going, as I normally do. But when I get in a funk, like I was saying, I like to isolate myself, kind of take care of that and not spread it. I like to contain it. Speaking of not spreading it, I'm back to wearing my mask. Quite a few teachers have been out with COVID and stuff. So if you're wondering, dang, she go to work and, you know, zhush it up and all that. I often do. I saw someone who said that's a part of being professional, wearing makeup and stuff. I don't agree with that philosophy. I think if it's not a natural part of who you are, then no. I mean, if I'm a model, yeah, yeah, it makes sense that I'm gonna put on makeup every day. But anywho, yeah, I haven't even done lashes, so I look like a bald ass scallywag right now. But please forgive that. Oh, I'm pretty sure y'all can hear him now. All I hear is I don't want to something. Bless his heart. My job couldn't be one of an interventionist. If you don't know, that's the person who, moves kids who are in distress from their classroom to another place. But there's a lot. Anyway, that just changed my whole subject of what I was talking about. I know I was talking about my girlfriend and people wearing a mask, but did y'all see in the news where that 11-year-old boy got a weapon and harmed somebody else, turned, aimed it, and they say that the other child's back was actually turned. Then you see the mom rush in and she gets it as only a mom would, because who else finna get a smoking hot one out of somebody else's hand? Clearly he's distressed. So I'm guessing, I think they said it was his mother, I'm pretty sure. But if they didn't say it was their mother, I'd have been like, that must be the boy's mama, because ain't no way I go over there grabbing something smoking and hot up out your hand. And then I want to say she popped him upside the back of the head, but honestly, by then the damage was done. Listen, when I tell you all some of the things about advocating for your kids and doing things like that, I'm saying it truly from a place of experience. That hollering and screaming is not abnormal. It is a part now of the everyday. When I first started teaching, hardly ever did I hear kids sound like that. But there's such angst, distress, and a whole lot going on that when I talk about things, honest to goodness, I am talking about it from a professional perspective. I'm also a mother, but just there's so much. The one thing I have to tell people a lot of times is you have to arm your kids with serious knowledge and arm them with the ability to withstand a lot that's going on, because in our school systems, in the American school systems, everything that there is in life is also in our schools. Let me say that again in case you was busy doing something and you ain't quite hear me. Everything that is out there in America is also in our schools. A lot of it is being pushed down into our children. So we talk now about kids experiencing trauma and all that. That's not just a catchphrase. Do I agree 100% with how children who have certain behaviors in school are treated? I ain't gonna say that. Ain't finna say that. But I do notice that there's an upward tick of children having issues and all of that, not just behaviorally, but emotionally, psychologically, and all of those things. And it concerns me, I can admit this, it truly concerns me that we don't have social studies in the schools as we used to. We don't have a time where we truly, I mean, as adults, we know to practice self care, right? And as teachers, we have just about enough time to tell kids what you can do. Take deep breaths if this happens, if you feel this way, da da da. But the times where we used to talk about stranger danger on the regularly, reporting on the regular, reporting things that are bothering you, safe people to report to, hey, I'm one of those, and all just direct instruction on things to do and how to do. That's fallen by the wayside now as we focus more on data and things. Excuse me. Hi, thank you. Oh, she didn't even need it. Okay. That was someone returning a hot glue gun that I loaned them. But anyway, I forgot where I left off. I think I was just saying that in general, we talk about self care for parents, but there's also that need for children, and how a lot of what we used to teach in terms of social studies, you all probably remember Smokey the Bear and Stranger Danger and all those lessons. We do still have DARE, but that approaches kids, I think, in about the fifth grade or so, and we've kind of waited. We've waited a bit by then. And so I really advocate for treating kids as kids, letting kids be kids, building up those strong memories, those skills, those awarenesses that they need to navigate safer. Because I think even earlier this week there was a student who threw a chair, hit the teacher, and knocked her out cold. I mean, they were some distance away. So at some points, people were finding a way to blame teachers. Well, the teacher shouldn't have been standing in front of the kid. Okay, well, now what we going to say? Because that teacher was about 6 feet away, and this child picked up a metal chair, hit her in the head, knocked her out cold. Are we still going to find a way to blame the teacher, or can we finally say, hey, maybe as a society, we're not meeting the needs of our kids. We're watching them go off the rails, and something else needs to be done. Are we there yet? Can we get there? Because we ain't got a lot of time. Things is going bad, and they're going bad fast. Anyway, it's almost time for me to pick up my kids. I got a little bit more to wrap up in terms of paperwork, because there's always some paperwork, child. But that's my rant for the day. I usually save my rants for the car. But anywho, let me get back to work, and I'll talk to you guys later. As it turns out, it's a good thing that I did record at work, because after work I ended up talking on the phone with a girlfriend so much that we talked for the whole drive, so I didn't get to pick the camera up and talk with you guys. Still, I wanted to pick it up now and tell you thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with little old me. I do not take the time you spend with me for granted at all. Genuinely appreciate it. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. And since you're here, would you mind dropping a comment to catch up with me a little bit? I like that connection. But if you don't have time for that, please do at least hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. I'd love to have you over here. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until then, take care.
What you want, is it really that important? You've been on my mind.